All right, we are live, making sure everything's up and running. As you know, we like to wait a minute or two and let people log in as I check everything we got going on. This is every day here at AZREIA. We go live for 64 days straight, breaking down The Success Principles by Jack Canfield. The information in this book, the principles in this book have changed my life dramatically. And in this show, I just want to be able to break down every day, one principle at a time, give you real life scenarios that I've dealt with each principle and apply it to real estate investing. So as you're getting your journey started and you're trying to lay your foundation of success and your mindset, you can also learn with the application of real estate, not just what's in the book. So give me a second here. I am gonna get everything on my end going. Let's see. All right. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop your questions in the chat as we go. I always just like to see if I'm live as we go here. Perfect. All right. So like I said, got the chat box. Drop your questions in. Here at AZREIA, we're passionate about empowering individuals like you on your real estate journey, providing the knowledge and tools you need to thrive. Our mission is to provide real estate investors support, market information, networking opportunities so that they can be successful real estate investors. We've been doing that for 21 years here in the state of Arizona, from Tucson, Phoenix, up to Flagstaff. We got you covered. Also, just, mark your calendars. Our 21st anniversary is November 13th in Scottsdale, Arizona, at venue 8600. We're going to be we always do a donation drive every year for Maggie's Place or for single mothers. So we're definitely going to be helping them out with the items they need. So definitely show up at least for that. Then we have a market update with Tina Tambor. We have Sean McCloskey doing how to become successful in real estate investing. So we have a lot going on that day. Plus, most importantly, meet our business associates. They're giving away all the prizes, see what kind of services they provide. They're the best in the state. And then meet the other members. There's hundreds of members there, all real estate investors from all walks of life, from new to seasoned, you name it. So check us out November 13th in Phoenix, and November, same thing in Tucson on November 14th, Tuesday night. So in this daily show, we're diving into the principles from Jack Canfield's The Success Principles and exploring how these lessons can be applied directly to our real estate ventures. I'll be sharing not only the ins and outs of each principle, but also my personal experiences and insights on how these lessons have played a crucial role in my business. So whether you're a seasoned investor or just taking your first steps into real estate investing, there's something here for everyone. So like I said, we're going live every single day. So drop me your email, send me a message. I will definitely make sure you get an email reminder. And we will be breaking down every principle in the book Success Principles by Jack Canfield. So yeah, let's kick it off. Today's number 3, right? So first day was take 100% responsibility for your own life. You're laying the foundation. I say that even at all our meetings. When you are meeting new people, hearing new information, buying properties, lending people money, right? You must do your own due diligence on the transactions you're getting involved with, the people you're working with. You have to know who they are, right? So that's number 1. Take responsibility, because at the end of the day, you're writing that check on that real estate investment. So you need to do and take full responsibility and 100% responsibility of your decisions. So number 2 was be clear, right? Be clear as to why you're here. What's your purpose? We also talked about, how can you take your personal purpose and incorporate it into real estate investing, so you can invest in real estate, change the trajectory of your life, as well as accomplishing your purpose in life, at the same time. Next, today, decide what you want. Decide exactly what you want from real estate investing. So I'm going to kind of take a moment and I'm just going to read directly from, a portion of a recap of what deciding what you want means in Jack Canfield's book. So decide what you want. It's about setting clear, definitive goals. Canfield emphasizes that to achieve success, you must first decide what it is you desire in life. Without a destination, you can't set a course. And without a course, you're left adrift in the sea of possibility without direction. Why is it important? Direction. Knowing your end goal gives you a clear direction to work towards. Motivation. Clear goals provide motivation to overcome obstacles. Measurement. Defined goals allow you to measure progress and adjust your strategies. How to apply it. Identify your desires. Take time to reflect on what you really want, not what others expect of you. That's a good one. Be specific. General goals get general results. Specific goals lead to specific results. And there's more. Write it down. Oh, this is powerful. The power in writing your goals down. This act alone can transform them from ideas to intentions. In the realm of real estate investing, this principle could translate into deciding on the number of properties you want to own, the net income you aim to generate, the types of real estate transactions you want to engage in, or the market niches you plan to target. This principle underpins the importance of setting concrete, actionable objectives that will guide your investment decisions and strategies. As we go live today, think about what you want means, what does that mean for you in your real estate dreams. Have your goals clearly defined and ready to share, as we'll be exploring how to turn these aspirations into achievements. So feel free to drop a question. Let me know your thoughts on what you want, right? What do you want in real estate? That would, if for those that are on, just letting me know what you're thinking that you want. If any feedback or advice I can give, from 12 years in the business, 700 deals closed, rental portfolio. I mean, I have a lot to share and how maybe I could help you clarify what you want and how you can do it in real estate. So what really helped me out, I mean, I not only in this book, I would probably even say Tony Robbins, right? Tony Robbins was a big Think and Grow Rich, the book Think and Grow Rich, Tony Robbins, Jack Canfield. Success leaves clues, and they all push write your goals down, right? So the more you see it, the more you write it, the more it's embedded into your brain, right? The more conscious you are of it to make the proper decisions. Like every company here at AZREIA, we have our mission statement, right? So once you have that mission statement, you make your decisions in your daily, throughout your day based on the core mission, of your company. So it keeps you aligned and on track. So I remember doing that, man, years ago. I remember the first time I did that, I'm like, what am I even doing? I'm just writing this stuff down. Where I'm from, it's like you never were taught, to visualize your dreams. It would be like, why are you daydreaming? You know what I mean? Smack, right? Get up, wake up, when I believe I daydream all the time now. So, money doesn't grow on trees. There's all these little sayings that kind of like force us into this box or this way of living, just like they created schools, right? Be there on time, the bell rings, go to class, bell rings, go to the next class, bell rings, take a break, bell rings. That's kind of the industrial world that they were training us to be in, and it's still there. So how do we break that with the way we were trained to be? So it is a hurdle. I still struggle at times, right? So I feel like I'm always leveling up, but there's always another level to go to. So writing your goals down. So John, what's up, buddy? Mike, I'm a new member and I'm excited to be going through the links your team sent for new member orientation. I'm also looking forward to the new member subgroup meeting. Thanks. Yeah, John, man. Thank you for being a part of the Arizona Real Estate Investing Association. Thank you for jumping on. I didn't know If anyone was there. No, but just kidding. But yeah, I'll be there Thursday. I'll be hosting the beginners group on Thursday night here in our Central Phoenix office. And yeah, John, I don't know what kind of, I don't know if you're exploring real estate right now or you're already in it. Yeah, let me know where you're at in the real estate world. But I know these were the changes. I talked a lot about it yesterday and your purpose. Um, these 64 principles are the foundation. If you don't have these foundations, you're not going to be able to. I hate to tell anyone you can't do something, but like it's so pivotal to have this foundation and baseline of a way of acting and thinking and visualizing in order to keep stepping up. All right, because you have to have the right mentality to make certain decisions and deal with certain people in business, and most importantly, you need to have your family on your side. Or if you don't, if you're single, whatever, friends, family, parents, cousins, that you well, if you're married, your spouse needs to be on board. It's not going to work, right? So, but or if you don't have the people supporting you, you need to be around the people. That's why here at AZREIA, which have just under 2,000 members, active real estate investors that come here to meet like-minded people. So get around, come to the groups, meet the people. So let's get back into the goal setting. So here's I told you I'll give you like personal stories and stuff. When Tony Robbins said, they would break down, what do you want in your personal life? Health, wealth, family, there's all these core areas of our life, environments that we want to focus on. And the more you can be clear on those and the more you can work on those and have those desirable environments in your life, the better you're going to feel every day. So for me, one of them was where I was single at the time, right? Years ago. So it was like, what kind of family, area did you want? I was like, I want to have a wife that is independent, entrepreneur mindset, and this is funny, lives off of Central Avenue or lives in Central Phoenix. And I got really detailed, right? And one day, like I drifted, right? Like we easily drift. And Napoleon Hill has a good book about drifting. The devil something. And it's like you put the goals down, you stop picking them up, you stop reading them, and you kind of just go on with your day, and you fall backwards into the old habits, right? So I was still going along with things at a certain pace, but literally I remember I moved in with my wife Dominique, right? She had an apartment or a condo she owned, and I had a box of all my stuff I took from my parents' house, and I was going through all my notes, and I was actually reading it, and I was now dating we're about to get married, and being at my at Dominique's house. I said I wanted to meet that type of person, right? And she lived on. So what I'm getting at is she lived on Central Avenue, which was Central Phoenix. And she was a hairstylist. She had her own book of business, and she was independent. She was entrepreneurial, and she lived literally not just Central Phoenix, on Central Ave. And I was there living with her, and I was just like, wow. Like, even though I wasn't looking at it, like I wrote it and I was reading it for a year. Who knows how long I was reading it for, but it was like it was happening, right? And I had my own music business. I was managing and throwing concerts, so it was like I was being an entrepreneur myself. And even though without looking at it, I feel that even though I embedded it upon myself years before, I still took action on it. But I know if I was reading it every day and being conscious of it every day, I think I would have been even further along with it. But I'm thankful as to how everything worked out on that situation. So get it, you must write it down, right? So if you have questions, like I said, drop it in. Let's break it down, like goals, right? No, well, actually, I'm gonna go a little bit further here. So in real estate, as in life, clarity is power. So knowing your destination is the first step in charting a path to get there. So John Assaraf, which was my mentor, he was in the movie The Secret. I studied under him for a year, and he would always say, you know, imagine yourself getting on a catamaran in LA and you would want to go to Hawaii, right? So you got to get in there and you got to, uh, tune the GPS, right? And then set sail, right? Then you go start hanging out with your friends, right? You got cruise control. But what happens? There's currents, there's waves, there's wind, there's rain, there's all this, and every so often you got to get back and you got to readjust the currents, the GPS. So you're writing your goals, you're writing your destination, right? And then you create a plan on how to get there, which is your GPS. It has all the directions, left, right, straight, forward, how fast, and then occasionally you drift, like I said I did, and then you got to get back in there and get back on target, get back on track. So keep that as an analogy to think about and be aware of, because it's easily, especially when you work full time and you have kids and a job and spouse and bills and soccer practice and basketball practice and doctor's appointments and dogs and business and phone calls and sales. Like literally, that was like I dealt with every single one of those while trying to run a business, right? And that's just I just only said three things in business. I didn't say taxes and bookkeeping and marketing, all that stuff. So it's stressful. It could be overwhelming, right? So it's very easy to drift from there. So let's start with specific goals. In real estate investing, this means knowing not just what you want to invest, but what type of properties do you want? What are you looking for? What's your budget? How much money do you have? What kind of resources do you have? What are your timelines, right? We call this here at AZREIA your investor identity. What's your investor identity? So meaning, right, who are you as an investor? Maybe you don't know yet, right? But that's why you come to our groups. We have fix and flip groups, landlord groups, notes groups, raising money, women's group, cash flow 101. Like, so we cover every area for you to expose yourself to these strategies. And our subgroup leaders are 5 years in the business, active in today's market, and they will tell you what they're seeing and what's going on and what they experience. They volunteer their time to be there. So join them. Right. And sometimes there's 5 people, sometimes there's 50. You just don't know every month. Right. So go there and take advantage of that time. It's just, you're a member. It's free to go into those things depending on your membership. And you can get a private coach practically and ask them a million questions. So, so be specific with those goals. So we would say, what's your investor identity? So let's just say you figured out you want to be a flipper. You got to figure out, hey, I want to flip 5 houses this year, right? And then by talking to the other investors in the room, you can ask them, how much do you usually profit? How much does it usually cost you to renovate a property, right? You can get some baselines to come up with your goals. You could say, how long does it take to flip a house? How much time of your day does it take, right? Everyone's different. So you could say, I want to flip 5 houses this year, and I want to make an average of $30,000 per property net profit, right? So start there, work backwards, right? So maybe that's a house every so often, every so many months, you're going to do a house. What neighborhood are you going to do these houses in, right? 3-bedroom, 2 baths. Do you want pools? Do you want garages, carports, right? Do you want to be in Scottsdale? Do you want to be in Maryville, right? Different finishes, different things you got to take into consideration, different neighborhoods, different price ranges. Different realtors maybe, right? Are you buying from wholesalers? Are you going on MLS? Are you doing your own marketing to homeowners, right? So you got to break all this down and set your goals. I don't care. Just do it. Just attempt it, right? So you got to write those goals down and be specific. Visualize, right? Let's talk about visualization, right? So don't care where you're at about this. Some people say woo-woo stuff, whatever it is. I think, who's it? T. Harv Eker, I think, says it in his book a lot. Thoughts equals feelings, feelings equal actions. So it's like, hey, you're daydreaming, right? You have that good feeling, oh my God, I'm going to be on vacation, whatever it is. Or if I had this, if I had that, you're always dreaming. So what does that do when you have those good feelings? Or you're thinking about something not so good? It goes either way. So if you have good thoughts, right, that you want to accomplish something, and those give you good feelings, which will inspire you to act on those feelings. So you gotta, as much as possible, as hard as it is, you gotta keep those right thoughts in your mind. I learned in this book, I don't know when we'll cover it or where it's at, but man, like I could easily think negative, right? It's just like, I remember one time my cousin, right? It was like I was young. I don't know. I was like, we were driving by a cemetery. Well, he said a lot of different things to me. He says like, we were driving by a cemetery. I was like, why are those? It's so funny how you remember this stuff. Why? I was like, why do some people have tall stones and some people have them in the ground? He goes, the people with the tall stones are rich and you're not, right? So, right, I'm a kid, right? So, okay, I'm not rich. I'll never be, starts getting down. Then I remember I'll be like, hey, I want to play baseball when I get older. It's impossible, and it gives me a stat like only someone, you can't do it, you're too small, right? So always like something like, so we get beat up with that, and it kind of ingrains into us, especially when your first 18 years of your life, if you're not exposed to this stuff, different ways of thinking, it builds these wires in your brain that you're just used to that. So we got to recreate those wires and make them smaller and build stronger ones that are more about success. So visualizing, I mean, if you can do it in the morning for 5 minutes, like you don't have to be meditate, you don't have to be for 30 minutes, an hour, whatever you can do. If you can just block out at least once a day to sit there, read your goals, and visualize yourself going through those goals, right? Also, vision boards, right? I was huge on vision boards. I have one in my office. I look, you see it every day, right? It's from family to business to vacations to health, spiritual, wherever you're at. So you're looking at a vision board, you're visualizing, you're reading your goals, right? And you're doing this once a day. That's all I'm asking. So once a day. And when I was going back to the negative statements, right? When people, growing around in an environment when people are just like, you can't, no, that's not possible, to blah, blah, blah. It grows on you. So I catch myself like always being like, someone's out to get me, right? Like, why are you calling? Why are you at my house? Why are you knocking on my door, right? So I always have that mistrust or whatever that means, just because thinking again where I'm from, the neighborhoods, how experiences I've been in. But Jack Canfield would say, and the second you catch yourself going through that motion of thinking of a fake scenario that's not real that you're jumping the gun on, stop, right? You just snap your fingers, stop, and just, you got to be responsible here. You got to catch yourself doing it and just stop and replace it with something positive, right? So stop thinking about whatever situation, I'm going to make 10 calls today, right? Or today's just a great day and it's going well, right? So you try to replace it with 2 or 3 things. Just make it a habit of saying stop, catch yourself doing the bad thought, hit stop, or say stop, replace it with 2 or 3 positive things, okay? You got to visualize. It creates those feelings, which inspire those actions, right? And then when you start with, I would even take it another level, is when you start rolling with those actions and start building those new muscles, and you're building experience. You're making mistakes, and you're and having new experience and successes, and you're building confidence, and you're not afraid to take as much action. So you're taking more action, which solidifies your thoughts that you were thinking, which make those thoughts even clearer, which make those feelings even better, and you take even more action. It's just a snowball effect, right? So, so you're figuring out your goals and being specific. What's your investor identity? What kind of investor do you want to be? What are your goals around being that type of investor? You're writing them down. You're reading them every day. You're creating a vision board, and you're visualizing it every day. And you're taking 5 minutes to do this every single day. And then as you notice yourself saying negative things, you're telling yourself to stop and then you're replacing it with 1 to 3 positive situations. Okay. So let's keep it moving. Any questions, just feel free to drop them in. Even if you want to drop those in afterwards, if you're watching the replay, I'll be checking the comments to give you some answers. Overcoming obstacles. Deciding what you want is easy part. The challenge comes in maintaining that decision in the face of setbacks. In real estate, this can mean market downturns, difficult negotiations, renovation challenges. Oh man, have I had those. So yeah, how do you overcome those obstacles, right? I always say, and it might be easier said than done, it always works out. It really does, right? If you're although it's hard, right? And sometimes it's a game to me, right? So how do I remember my uncle told me one time, he's like, we're talking about politics. I'm not big on all that and deep, but it's like, he was like, he's a very successful businessman. He would just be like, I'm like, who do you vote for? Right? He would say, hey, it's a game, right? And there's rules to the game. And I vote for who's helping the rules in my business, right? So that's just one perspective from one person. So I'm like, oh, so that stuck with me, right? That was some good stuff, right? So what are the rules? I was trying to figure out. So he would say, he would vote for playing by the rules. So what, man, I totally forgot. I lost my thought where I was going to take that. Or deciding what you want to burn. The challenge comes to maintaining decision setbacks. So difficult situations. So you're going to bump into renovation problems. So this year I've dealt with, we bought a property, sight unseen, which don't recommend doing on your first few deals. Ended up being a septic tank, right? Almost had to replace the septic tank. Also didn't realize how bad the people living in there, was a foreclosure deal, how bad they were smoking, right? Or how much they smoked in the house, which, man, we've had to tear down some drywall. We had one of those, we had kept the windows open, those ventilation. Oh man, what was it called? It sprays all day. We just did so much to it. Took out the popcorn, anything we possibly can, without having to re-drywall the house. Ultimately, we got it. But you just got to have that resourcefulness, that type of mindset that will always figure it out. Yeah, I would tell myself, if it doesn't put me in jail or kill me, I'm gonna make it happen, right? That's just kind of the game. That's where I was going with the game. I would play a game, right? So there's rules to these games. I look at life as a game, right? So I take it serious, but I don't like stress out on it, right? So it's a game we're playing, right? So what games can you play in your own with yourself to keep motivated or keep going? So I'm almost like, hey, something happened with the house, right? Hey, it doesn't put me in jail, I'm good, right? Or I don't die, I'm good. So I have that baseline of, okay, that's the first step. The house has a septic we didn't know. Yes, that they're crazy smokers in the house, and it stinks really bad. And every time we go in there, we feel like we got smoke on us. Sucks. Might cost some extra money, but it's not killing me. It's not putting me in jail. So it's the first layer of me saying, all right, that's a good start. So I'm trying to think of some crazy situations. Okay, obstacles, some other real estate obstacles for the people like to hear stories is I bought a house or 5-plex. Supposed to be 3 month-to-month tenants and 2 vacant units. Ended up being 3 month-to-month tenants with a squatter on one of the units. They were, come to find out, in short, they were stealing electricity and cable, and I don't know how they accomplish all this. And another thing, that was one thing. Then I took them to court for not paying rent, and they all brought in year leases, which threw me off too. But we worked through it. And then 2 weeks into the deal, APS came and pulled 3 meters off the house because they were stealing electricity. In my head, I'm like, wow, this previous owner has owned this house for 20 years. these people have been here for, I think they're like 3 years. They stopped paying their rent. They're squatting, and APS never never did anything. But for whatever reason, once title changed, they ripped the panels off, and I had all this code and permits. So I had redo panels. It's just a mess. I thought I was done, right? But one thing I always knew in my mind is I bought the property right. Right? You need to understand how to analyze deals. You need to know your numbers. You need to know ARV, after repair value. You need to know what the property's worth. You need to know what it's going to cost to renovate. You need to know the rents. You need to know your loan terms. You got to do all this math in advance, right? And even though all these hassles, usually there's a buffer, right? Like people do 10-15% for miscellaneous things if they go wrong on the renovation. But I'm talking squatting, pulling, evictions, squatting, pulling panels off, city coming in wanting me to do permits on all the ACs and the roof. There's a lot of unexpected stuff, but I knew I bought it so low that I can get through a full-on renovation and have all these blemishes and still prevail. So that's one thing in real estate, if I'm going to apply it to obstacles, right, is buying the property correctly. Don't get caught up emotionally. This is a numbers game where over the last year and a half ago, the interest rates doubled overnight. A lot of investors were speculating because it was such a boom. It was such a nice ride. If you were a bad real estate investor, a bad fix and flipper, you still made money, right? Because the market would just appreciate. And you're just buying, people are just overpaying for properties and still making money. It's very short-lived and just not a strategy to go with. So like you always hear jokes like, hey, when the janitor is a real estate investor, you know something's going on, right? So not that that's a bad thing, but they jump in for the wrong reasons, just to ride the wave. And then once the wave crashes or stops, they all disappear, right? So I've been able to do this for 12 years because I've always bought right. I rode the wave while I can, but still, I probably even missed out on some deals because I was conservative on my numbers. So we want to have specific goals. Know exactly what your goals are as a real estate investor. Write them down, visualize them. Don't run your numbers right so you can avoid obstacles and apply everything, right? So you can apply what you learn. So we do have a few people watching here. So if you have any questions, drop them in. I'm just going to take a look at this book and make sure I'm not missing anything. We've been going on for about 30 minutes. I usually wrap it up here in a minute. We covered a lot. So the greater danger for most of us is not that our aim is too high and we miss it, but that it's too low and we don't reach it. That's a good one. If you limit your choices only to what seems possible or reasonable, which we are probably all guilty of at some point, you disconnect yourself from what you truly want, and all that is left is compromise. Great one. Good one. Love those quotes. Create your future from your future, not your past. Ooh, the past is the past. It's over, right? Live it. You're here now. Live in the moment. Think about the future. Create a plan to get there, and in the present moment, do what you need to do in your plan to get to that future. Perfect. So tomorrow, believe it's possible. That's what we'll talk about. I'll try to hop on here at 1:00. I gotta check my schedule. If you're on here, shoot me your email. I'll get you on the list. If you go in the show notes, we are gonna. I have some ebooks, a library of ebooks. So wherever you are in your real estate investing journey, we have very simple, easy to understand ebooks for wholesaling, fix and flip, notes, landlording. A great one that's why real estate investing is an ideal investment. IDEAL. You want to know what those are? Definitely download. Click the link and download those ebooks. They're free. Otherwise, like I said, November 13th in Phoenix or Scottsdale for our 21st anniversary. November 14th in Tucson. Go to AZREIA.org/calendar. You can see all the information for about 15 to 17 events a month that we hold. We'd love to have you part of the community here at AZREIA. Otherwise, thank you for being here. Appreciate your time. I enjoy doing this. I kind of take it a little off the cuff. I just kind of put up some notes together and wing it off the top of my head. So if you want me to talk more about real estate, go more deeper into the book, I'm open to feedback. Just shoot me a message. And that's a wrap. We'll do this tomorrow at 1, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.